Speaker number 2, Patricia Fonseca. Celebrate life. Celebrate life, Patricia Fonseca.
Life is always about choices. You can choose to see the glass half empty or half full. We live in a world where life is a rat race, where fear and competition rule. You can choose to allow life to crush you. And yet, if you have a clear vision and a dream, you can choose to fly. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, today I will share with you a thought, stunning in simplicity, clear and profound, a line by Dewitt Jones that changed the way I looked at life. Celebrate what's right with the world. 5 years ago, my husband Christopher burst through the front door. Patricia, he said, we are moving to Texas. Christopher's eyes sparkled as he confirmed his promotion and transfer to the United States. While I was excited for him, I felt as if someone had punched me in the stomach. Here was my husband, talking of moving more than 9,000 miles across 2 continents to set up home halfway across the globe. This was a huge career break, and so I smiled bravely as we made this monumental decision to uproot our lives in India and move here to the United States with our 2 children. Moving anywhere, as you all know, is chaotic. Try moving with 2 teenagers. Imagine, if you will, for one brief moment, our lives after we moved here. We would enter the church, or in fact a room full of people, and not know a single soul. Believe me, those first few months were very difficult, and in fact a rather lonely experience. I kept a stiff upper lip as I reminded my children what a huge opportunity this was. And yet, I remember lying on my bed at night, on a tear-soaked pillow, as I thought of my home, my mother, the family that I loved dearly, my closest friends, my favorite foods, a culture we had grown up with, as we struggled to make Houston our home. And then both our children and all our money moved to college. David and Sharon are both international students, and if you think college education is expensive, their tuition is 3 times higher. Yet, no matter how bleak and desolate that initial move seemed, the change was a huge learning experience. My children took to the system and they thrived. We fell in love with this country and its people. We made special friends, friends who taught us what hearts of gold were all about. We have friends now who are more than family, people who have showed us that there are ties far stronger than biological ones. I have a job made in heaven, literally. I work at St. Lawrence Catholic Church, where I serve and glorify God. I choose to celebrate what's right with this world. My mom suffered from cancer, and last January I knew was probably the last time I would see her alive. And 1 week before my departure, I got a phone call to tell me that she was fast losing the battle with cancer and I had to fly home immediately. The airline confirmed that a change in date would cost us $600. We had no choice. We had to dip into savings. I called my boss to tell her that I was flying home that night as my mom was dying. There were no questions asked. Just a simple, "Go, Patricia. We will take care of your airline expense." It was here, during one of my darkest moments, that I was surrounded by the love of friends, people who took warm home-cooked meals to my family while I was away, called and emailed me every day. I had reason to celebrate what's right with this world. We decided when we moved here to the US that we would spend our money on 2 things: a good education for our children, and a lot of travel. Both our children study at great universities, and we have some priceless memories for traveling extensively in the United States. We have seen the majesty of the Grand Tetons drenched in golden sunlight, been spellbound by wildlife at the Yellowstone Park. We have relived every child's dream at Disney World, shook hands with Mickey and Minnie Mouse, and even went on every death-defying, stomach-churning ride in the park. Like you, we have experienced all the seasons on a single day here in Texas. And then the biting cold of Chicago and Washington, D.C., when the snow changes every landscape into a winter wonderland. Magical moments, a chance to celebrate what's right with this world. Life here has not always been a bed of roses. It has, in fact, been a roller coaster ride of emotional experiences. A delayed work permit last year had us fumbling with a system which just bounced us from pillar to post as we struggled to pay our bills. My heart breaks when I think that we may have to leave this country because of an overloaded immigration system that is backlogged 10 years. Our future is filled with uncertainty. But I choose to celebrate life, because when I'm on the edge, I find the winds to take me higher. I have a message for you today. Every one of us goes through difficult times in our lives. Choose to look on the bright side of life. And when tough times come your way, always remember, God has a plan for every one of us. He holds each of us in the palm of his hand. So choose to be the very best always. And choose to celebrate what's right with this world. Mr. Toastmaster.